back to my channel and to my new background. Looks a little bit disheveled right now, but that is because today we are filming a book haul, which means I had to spend way too long pulling all the books off my shelves. Pretty sure this is going to be quite a long one, so grab yourself a cuppa and get yourself prepared for way too many books. Just quick disclaimer time, these have been accumulated over some time. So we do have books all the way from August 2021 until the end of 2021. So that is 6 months of collecting. So I do not wish to receive any hate on the amount of books I have hauled. It's none of your business. I say as I make a video to make it your business. I'm also not going to be doing this in any particular order because collecting them, piling them was hard enough. Like the pile is like here, which is taller than me. So I'm well aware that there is no possibility I can make it into any rhyme or reason. I am purely going to pick up a book and show it to you. I might tell you the synopsis of a few that stand out to me, but for the most part, there will not be a synopsis in this video. I'm sorry, there's just no time. The first book I'm going to start with is one I sent from a publisher, and that is Twin Crowns. This is by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Webber. This is something that comes out in May and is a fantasy with two sisters, and you have to pick a side of these two sisters to who you believe would be in the right. And I think that is very interesting. I presume two authors and two characters means one wrote one and one wrote the other. So both are going to play their characters as the hero. So I'm so excited to see which side I fall on. It sounds really interesting. It sounds like a really, really good fantasy. I've been excited to read it for a while and I've been holding off till closer to the release date. But I think now we are finally in the time where I can read it and it would be appropriate. So I look forward to getting to this very soon. Another fantasy that I picked up purely because of the maps was Realmbreaker by Victoria Aveyard. Now, I follow Victoria Aveyard on TikTok, even though I've never read one of her books, and she was showing off the map of this book, and I was just like, a full coloured map as the end page? Absolutely, I'm here for it. So, yes, I did get a book purely for that reason. I will not hear any slander or hate. I also don't know what this is about, I just know that it's really large. So there you go. I have no idea if Victoria Aveyard is an author for me. I've never tried her writing style, but I'm really excited to try this one and see how it goes. I just don't know why I keep putting myself through chunky books when I have enough to read. The next book that I received was a very kind gift from Connor, and that is the Illumicrate edition of These Violent Delights. I have not read this book, but I do own both the Fairy Loot and the Illumicrate copy because the Illumicrate copy has the most gorgeous reverse dust jacket art and usually gets it displayed right here on my shelves. I absolutely adore this. I think it is beautiful, and I've put off reading it for so long because I'm nervous I'm not going to like it when I have two beautiful editions of it. So let's just keep me all in your thoughts and prayers that this is going to be the perfect book for me because I need that. A book that we received in the December Fairy Loot as an add-on was The Coldest Touch by Isabelle Sterling. This is not one I've heard anything about actually until I received it in my box, but I'm absolutely in love with the cover and the colour choices. It sounds really, really amazing. It's paranormal. I haven't read a vampire book in the longest time, and so considering that used to be my favourite genre, trope type, I'm not sure. I'm really excited to get into this and see how it goes. It's also fairly short, at just under 400 pages, so I feel like this is going to be a really nice and easy read one day, and I'm hoping that day is soon. Something I was so excited to get my hands on is A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. I really wanted this book and I went to buy it and I put myself on a book ban and I chose not to break my book ban. Go me, we love growth. Except for the fact the publishers then pulled this book because it was the American copy and they were not releasing it in the UK yet, so I never got the chance to get it. Furious I was. So I have waited patiently until one popped up on Depop, and I did a trade for it so that I think I traded my Fairy Loot copy of something, Once Upon a Broken Heart, for this and some other books. One of the other books was Sawkill Girls, so we'll go through that next. But I'm just so happy to own a copy of this. Now I hopefully love it because I have not read it before. That is something in 2021 I am trying to potentially change and buy books that I know I've either loved the author before, is in a series I already love, or a book I've already read, instead of just buying random books and hoping for the best. But I'm still really excited to have this. It is a gorgeous cover and I'm hoping it's going to be right up my alley. As I said, the other book I got was The Sawkill Girls by Legrand. This is something that I heard a lot about when I first joined BookTube 2 years ago now. Oh my goodness. I don't know anything about it. It's obviously a thriller, but that's the only thing I know about it. I'm not really sure it's going to be my cup of tea, but I thought for the sake of a trade, I'm going to give it a try. So yeah, I love the cover. The cover is very pretty, very scary. Next we have from Illumicrate, The Wolf and the Woodsman by Aveyard. You're probably wondering why I have this, considering I cancelled Illumicrate. I did cancel Illumicrate. I just did a trade for this one because I really like this edition. I think it's very beautiful. Let's have a look. So we have some work on the actual hardback, and we have some beautiful dust jacket art. Absolutely gorgeous. Again, have not read this. It sounds like my cup of tea, so I'm hoping it will be. But I just thought it was so beautiful. I was gonna get it while I could. Again, from the December Fairy Loot box, we received Year of the Reaper by Maker Lucia. I again don't know anything about this. I'm not sure I'm gonna keep it. I don't know if it's gonna be my thing. Recently, Fairy Loot books. I just dropped the signature. Recently, Fairy Loot books have not really worked for me, so I'm not 100% sure I am going to keep this, but for now I'm going to haul it just in case. This sounds okay, but I don't really know too much about it, and I haven't heard anything about it before. It just seems like Depop is inundated with copies, so we'll see if I end up choosing to take the dive or not. I just have so many books that I want to read that this year I'm like, I'm not wasting my time on books I don't want to. Another Fairy Loot copy, I believe, is these Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. I've already read this book and absolutely adored it. I thought it was fabulous. Akatar, The Prison Healer, they're all pretty much the same, and I enjoy them all. So I knew this was going to be a success for me, and I'm really glad I got it. Me and Connor a long time ago went to Hey on Why, and that was in June, so I'm a little bit confused why these are on my haul list, but they are. So I apologise if I have already hauled them. I'm still going to show them to you just in case. But when I was there, I bought Ghost Stories, which is like a collection of classic authors and their ghost stories. I was interested to see the origins kind of horror and see some more old work in the horror genre and see how it's developed to this day, because I'm really trying to get more into horror now. I'm really enjoying it recently, and I felt like that would be a good thing to do, and also it's just a beautiful book. And the other book that I bought was The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. This is one of my favourite books as a child, so when I saw this copy I knew I had to pick it up. I did just reread it, I think last week, and could not enjoy it, unfortunately. There was a lot of racism, which I know exists in a lot of classics. I get it. However, this felt so much. Like, it was literally every page. So unfortunately it wasn't a favourite for now, but as a child I enjoyed it. Next, I'm going to talk about all the books that I picked up in the Waterstones 50% off sale. I did some damage. I drove to 2 different Waterstones. One of them I sat in 2-hour traffic to get to Cardiff, the city centre of Wales, to find more books. Am I an addict? No. The first one I'm going to show isn't a fiction book, but I saw this, and it is the Friends official cookbook, which I did not know existed. And it takes everything that they made in the show and like gives you the recipe for it. I'm trying to find like a picture. Phoebe's Blue Butterfly Pea Flower Tea Lemonade. So it has drinks, starters. It's a real cookbook, which is quite interesting. But yeah, I really enjoyed looking through it in the store, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna get it and see. It tells you what episode they were made on in the show. I thought it was quite interesting. I didn't know this existed. So maybe it was a daft purchase, but it was definitely a fun one. And now this is on display in my kitchen next to my little friend shrine, because I like to think of my kitchen as Central Perk itself. So yeah, I really enjoyed this, and it's originally £23, which I would never pay, but because it was half price, I was like, what a steal. The next book that I picked up at that sale was The Cat Who Saved Books by Sasuke Natsukawa. Oh, sorry, I butchered that. I believe this is translated works, and I noticed that a lot of translated works are revolved around cats, and I have read quite a few of them now, and I have enjoyed them all. So I'm really hoping that this will be no exception and will be something that I thoroughly enjoy. It is a really short read, but I think it's going to be a powerful one if my previous experience with this type of book is. I'm really, really hoping. It doesn't really give you too much in the synopsis, but it sounds quite powerful from what it does tell me, so very intrigued by that. And it was only £10 down to a £5, so can't go wrong with that. I was also clearly in a horror mood this day, so I picked up quite a few horrors, one of them being The Spirit Engineer by A.J. West, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, the cover sold me. It is gorgeous. Interesting that Jodie Whittaker actually put a... Is this called a blurb on it? What's that called? A review? I don't know. It sounds interesting, but mostly I was compelled by the cover. And I also saw in the synopsis, it says something about like a couple of years after the Titanic sinks, the like world becomes obsessed with trying to contact the other side and Ouija and all these things. And I think that just sounds really, really interesting. I, again, did buy it because of the cover, but at least the synopsis sounds just as cool to match. I then picked up a book that I've been really wanting to read for a long time, and I've actually had on my Kindle for a long time, and that's The Mad Women's Ball by Victoria Maas. Now, I'm not sure what the synopsis is, and I know I knew it at one point. I know someone said it in a video, and it like, something spoke to me about it, and I needed to read it. And I've just not read it on my Kindle because I get a bit overwhelmed when I look at it, because there's so many options. So when I saw it in physical copy, I decided to pick it up. The cover again is absolutely gorgeous with the shiny gold. It's a really short read. I have no idea on the genre. Reading it, I was like, it's giving me horror vibes, but I don't think it is a horror. I think it's just general fiction, but I'm not sure. If you happen to know, let me know. But it is a debut novel, and I'm incredibly excited to read this one. Also, it does have a really beautiful hardback, which I think is really nice. I like when standard editions have that. It just feels like something extra. I then picked up a book I promised myself I wouldn't buy, and that's Under the Whispering Door by TJ Cloon. This is the signed Waterstones edition, so it is really gorgeous, which may have swayed me a little bit. But realistically, would I have read it anyway? Probably. I did not like The House in the Cerulean Sea at all. I actually thought it was one of the most disappointing books after all the hype. It wasn't bad, but it was disappointing. So I wasn't going to pick this up despite how amazing the synopsis sounded. But when I saw this and I thought half price, and I just thought, do you know what, you need to give it a try. Just because one book didn't work from an author doesn't mean that none of them will. And I really am intrigued by the synopsis. It just speaks to me, so I'm gonna need to do it. So at least I had a pretty edition to do it with. Yes, I could have just read it on Kindle for much cheaper, but no, that wouldn't be in Brooke style. How would I ever do a haul otherwise? Again, going on that horror theme, I bought this book, The Watchers by A.M. Shine. I don't know why I bought this, because it sounds so scary. Like, so scary. Like, this girl wanders through the woods and then she comes to this like bunker. I'm not sure how she gets in or how she gets there, but then they're like, she's there with other people and they're all tortured and watched by the Watchers. What was I thinking? That sounds horrific. I looked on Goodreads and it doesn't seem like a very like popular book. It had like 400 reviews, so I didn't even have that much to go off of. But it does say the Gothic horror tradition. I'm terrified. I want to read it because it sounds so good, but I'm also absolutely terrified, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to need to buddy read this with someone, because I don't know if I could read this on my own. This is too scary. No. I'm going away on holiday next week to a cabin in the woods. Should I read it then? Does that sound like a good idea? Next, I picked up a book that I've been wanting to read for a really long time, since I read The Song of Achilles and found it disappointing. And that is Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. And I'm not going to lie to you, I don't know a lot about Ariadne. I have not read any of the mythology surrounding her before. It is in fact the Waterstones exclusive. They had both there, and I was umming and ahhing because the original is very beautiful as well. It is a navy cover with gold. But I ended up going for this one because I just think it is stunning. But when I tell you, that was a very hard choice, and I sat there for a very long time debating that. But I'm glad I went for this in the end. I think it's really gorgeous, and I think it's going to look beautiful on my shelves. Hopefully I love it. And the final book that I picked up at that Waterstones sale was The Book of Accidents by Chuck Wendig. I actually heard this on someone's channel somewhere along the lines and really took a fancy to it. So I downloaded it on my Kindle and I didn't realise how big it was until I saw it in stores. So I'm kind of glad I didn't tackle that on Kindle. I would have been very deceived by not watching the percentage go up. Again, I'm not sure now what it is, just that it was kind of scary and about a house. But I do remember being intrigued by it. I'm also intrigued by the fact it has 2 prologues in it, so that's quite interesting. I really love the cover. And I'm definitely going to be reading this very soon because every time I've gone to pick a new read, it has taken my fancy. And the only thing putting me off so far is that very large page count. But yeah, that was the end of the Waterstones haul. The next few books that I want to haul are actually on this shelf. And I didn't want to take them away because of the fact that they're such a display piece. They are the From Blood and Ash Fairy Loot set. Is this Fairy Loot or Illumicrate? I know they both did them. And I wanted the one, I think this is Fairy Loot. It is. I got all 3 books. I've only read the first one, so whether I keep these remains to be seen until I have read them. But I want to show you how gorgeous they are. So they all come with an exclusive cover, and the spines are gorgeous. Sprayed edges, but the real masterpiece is what's hidden. We have this on the actual naked hardback. Wow, each one has a different character. And this is the reverse dust jacket of the first one. Absolutely beautiful, phenomenal, stunning. Whoever did these put a lot of work into them and I'm really impressed. The second book is Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. Again, we have character art on the actual naked hardback. And we have reverse dust jacket art. Again, gorgeous, phenomenal, stunning. And the third book is The Crown of Gilded Bones. So we have the naked book again. It's got a wolf on it this time too. Gorgeous. And then the reverse dust jacket, which is my favourite. Look at that. The colours, wow. The picture, wow. Phenomenal. Absolutely love it. These were such an exciting parcel to receive. I did not expect them to look this way. I've seen the pictures, but it does not do justice in person. We have yet another Fairy Loot edition, and that is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. This is a really nice hardback edition of the book. It comes signed, and I believe there is a naked hardback. Yes, there is. Little bit disappointed by the lack of reverse dust jacket art, especially for the price, but it's fine. I'll take my bitter ass elsewhere. But yeah, just the story, typical story in hardback format. I think it's gorgeous. I love the Heartstopper series a lot. Again, as a gift from Connor, I received the Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I absolutely adored the Inheritance games. I thought it was very Knives Out vibe, if you've watched that movie. And I couldn't wait for the second one, which I did think was the last one. Turns out it's not. It is a trilogy, and I don't think that's necessary, but I will hold in my problems with it. I thought this was a good book. I did enjoy it. And then again from Connor, this time for Christmas, I received 2 beautiful books. We have Poems for Every Night of the Year and Poems for Every Day of the Year. And I wanted these because how absolutely gorgeous they were. I saw them in Waterstones before and I was flicking through them and they were beautiful. However, I have been in hysterics at this book, let me tell you. In hysterics. I thought these were going to be beautiful poems, to which some of them are, let me assure you. But oh my god, I could never have expected myself for how good these books would make me feel on a daily basis. This is number 2. This is the Loch Ness Monster song. Did I sing it 3 times? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I also was skipping through them the day I received it, and there's like an Xbox song or a PlayStation song or something. Absolutely brilliant. Couldn't have provided me with more entertainment every single day of my year, and I'm very ready for it. These books are going to make 2022 fabulous, even if nothing else does. So thank you so much, Connor, for providing me with such great entertainment this year. And then I received a gift from a lovely author over on Twitter. His name is Richard Glenn. He wrote the Echo series, which I read the first book, I think, end of 2020, I believe, and it was really, really good. You should check it out. He bought me the Marionettes by Wisma for Christmas, which was so kind of him. Wisma is a YouTuber who self-publishes lots of books, and I have read this one and I have thoroughly enjoyed it. This is the first book in her new vampire series, and the first 2 are out now, and it's just so good. If you were like a fan of Twilight but you wanted it to be a little bit more grown up for you now, or you enjoyed those books like the Marked series, the House of Night series, or Vampire Academy, I think you'll enjoy this book and this series in general. I'm really excited to see where Katie takes it. I know that book 2 gets a lot steamier, so if you're into steam, that's great as well. But yeah, I was really excited to receive a physical copy of this book because I really enjoyed it, and I'm so excited to have a book of Katie's now because I've read all of her books so far and loved them all. 2 books in a series that I was very excited to receive were both these books by A Touch of Taboo series by Katie Roberts. So this is My Dad's Best Friend. It was gifted to me by Robbie. I think this is the first one. I might be wrong. I don't know which order they come in. And this one is Your Dad Will Do, and I was gifted this by the lovely Lauren. Thank you so much for these 2 books. They're very short, they are very smutty, they're very steamy. Clearly they follow a theme. If this sounds like your cup of tea, pick these books up. I get so embarrassed talking about this stuff, I'm so sorry. I read these on Kindle a long time ago and loved them, so knew I needed these 2 from the series. Will very likely be picking them up again very soon. So yeah, very excited to own a physical copy. Something else that I'd already read but was excited to own a physical copy again, because I do own a physical copy already, and that is A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J Maas. I just really wanted to get the hardback. So yeah, I'm really excited to finally have this because these hardbacks are so overpriced. I don't know why, but the ACOTAR series is just sky high and they're never available and it drives me insane. I think it's a marketing ploy. But I'm excited to finally have the full set so I can stop trying to track them down and think about them because I'm very much over it now. But yeah, glad I have this. A book I received for a book tour and have read is The Beast Hunters by Krista Lenday. This was a really interesting book. I thought it was going to be like middle grade / YA, but to be honest, it might still be YA, but it's very graphic. I really enjoyed it. So this girl loses her parents to the monster who eats them, and you do witness them getting eaten. It is quite graphic, but they were bad parents, so you kind of support it in a way. Ara gets saved by 2 beast hunters before the beast eats her, and she then travels with them and helps them on their beast hunting journeys. And I'm not even going to say any more, but there's a couple of twists and turns and shocks in this book that I was actually like, what? I was sat in a coffee shop with just my mouth open like, huh? Reading this. So I really hope that you guys will pick this up. It's, I believe, a debut novel, and the author is absolutely lovely. I've chatted with him a lot. He's a really lovely guy, and I think you should check this book out because it is really, really good. Okay, I'm going to talk about 2 together because they are the exact same book again, and that is ACOTAR. Will I stop collecting editions? Who knows? I picked this one up on Depop. It is the American US paperback. I just picked it up because I saw it and I fancied having the copy. I have no idea if these are rare or not. I don't think so, but I'm excited to have it now. Then I have the ACOTAR Collector's Edition. So this is just the beautiful edition with gold gilded edges on the side, the slipcase, and then beautiful end pages. I'm really enjoying this edition of the book. It stays out on display on this shelf. I think it's gorgeous. I need to stop getting editions of ACOTAR now though. There's other books I could be buying, but I'm really glad that I have all the editions that I wanted now. So yeah, super happy with this. A book that Jade brought with her when she came to visit me, because she had 2 copies, was The Promise Neverland. This is a manga series that I thought was going to be for children. Boy, was I wrong. I was so surprised by the contents of this book, and I highly encourage you to pick it up. It was very interesting. I think the story will go a lot further in the future volumes, but I think I'm going to pick them up on my Kindle. But this was such an interesting start to a story and gave so much depth. I was like, what is going on? It's so short and yet it has so much in it. So yeah, this was really enjoyable. Thank you so much, Jade, for bringing this series to my attention. I know that she is a massive fan of it. We're almost at the end now, guys, I promise. I then received again from Fairy Loot The Gilded Cage by Lynette Noni. This is the 2nd book in the Prison Healer series. I have the Fairy Loot edition of the 1st book, so I wanted the Fairy Loot edition of the 2nd to match. It is stunning. They've done some fabulous character art. and some fabulous reverse dust jacket art that I am absolutely obsessed with. I read this book as an e-arc, so I've not had to read the physical copy. So I've managed to keep it in a very good condition, but I really enjoyed this book. I really like the Prison Healer series. Again, it is very, very much like ACOTAR and These Hollow Vows. If fantasy romance is your kind of thing, or you've liked those books before, I think you'll enjoy this. Or at least the first book in the series. I definitely encourage everyone to give it a go. I really, really enjoyed it. Okay, next I'm going to show you these together because they are the same book. And that is Kingdom of the Cursed by Kerry Maniscalco. I absolutely love Kingdom of the Wicked, so I put a lot of pre-orders on the second book. I'm not going to lie. I first of all have the Fairy Loot edition, which I will show you now because it is stunning. It is purple to match the first one, which I really enjoy. Has gorgeous rose edges. Absolutely stunning. It has character art here and I love it, and it also has beautiful reverse dust jacket. Wow, so beautiful. I really love this book, and I really love that they made it purple to match Kingdom of the Wicked. They look so good next to each other on my shelves. Connor gifted me the standard edition, which was really exciting because with my original standard edition, I tabbed it, and I mean I went to town. So I'm really excited to have the standard edition to do that again. Unfortunately, I did not have it when I read it, so I've not tabbed it yet. But I'm going to reread and do that again this year because I'm sorry, but this looks so cool and would look so cool with the next one doing the same thing. And the final copy that I bought, I really didn't need to buy, but it's fine. This is the copy I actually read, and that is the Waterstones edition. So it just comes with blue sprayed edges and it's signed. It's got nothing else to it. So this is why I don't need it. But I own 3 copies. Am I unnecessary? Yes, I am. I'm not doing that this year, I promise. I probably shouldn't promise because I'll probably do it anyway, but it's fine, it's fine. And the last books that I have to show you are all from the same series. Oh my god, these are so heavy. Oh my god. This is the Zodiac Academy series, a series that has taken over my life recently, I will not lie. And I believe these have all been gifts, so allow me to go through. First of all, we have Zodiac Academy Prequel. This is Bully of the Origins. I actually haven't read this yet, but I wanted to pick it up so that I had it. So here it is, I have it now. Good for me. I also have the first book, The Awakening. It's so small. Wait until you see what I've just read and you'll realise how small this is and how deceiving this series was to start. I was literally like reading through them like, oh, it's going so fast, and then I got to the one I just finished and I was like, no. I have number 3. Thank you, Jade, for this one. Like, Jade is just like funding the Zodiac Academy series. Wait till you see. But I absolutely loved number 2 as well. I think number 2 was much better than number 1. Number 1 was like a 3.5. Meanwhile, the rest of them have been a 4 so far. I really, really enjoyed this book. Again, from Jade for Christmas, I received number 3, which is The Reckoning. Again, really, really good. But this is where I was shocked. So for Christmas as well, Connor bought me number 4, which I hadn't read yet. It was the first one that I had received before reading. Look at number 3 versus number 4. Shall we just have a look at number 1 compared to number 4, shall we? Are you kidding me? Look at the size on this book. And I was tabbing it, and I was like, are you having a laugh? Like, this is insane. So, why I did this to myself, I am unsure. But thank you so much, Connor, for gifting me this one. It was really nice to read it physically, and now I don't want to go back to reading the series on Kindle, so it's kind of messed me over a bit now, because now I have to buy them all. But I really, really enjoyed this. This was, I think, my last read of 2021. Oh no, bar one smut. I cannot wait to continue the series. The end of this is such a cliffhanger and it's heartbreaking. I was like sobbing. And then the final one was also a gift from Connor, and that is 5.5 novella. It is called The Big Ass Party. So this is the book that I will read post number 5. So I'm going to read number 5 and then I can get on to this one, which is very, very exciting. So that is everything for this book haul. I know it was a long one and there was a lot of books. So thank you so much for sticking through with me if you made it this far. Let me know if you've read any of these books, haul these books. Let me know what your favourite haul was of 2021. How many books you hauled if you know that information. I certainly don't, and I do not want to know that information. That is scary to me. I now have to go put away the gigantic mess that I have caused. Yay. So I shall see you all in the next video. I hope you have a great day. See you in the next one. Bye.